Hello everyone, welcome to Inter Worldwide, another roundup, week 26, Inter on top, 6 points, 7 points, Cagliari picking up points. I'm here with Anthony, Inter Worldwide leader right here with me. How are you, brother? How are you?
Oh man, it's good to be here. It's good to be with my brother Mo. It's good to have another positive match day. And I love how you snuck in that Cagliari one there, because they're going to be the ones that have to do the job this week as well, my guy.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're going to take you through every team. We did around 23, and now we're 3 games after this, and then we're going to take you through every team and how they look on the table and what is going on. We're going to start right away by looking at the table right away. You can see the table right there, and you can see Inter at 62, Milan 56, and at the bottom, Torino with 2 games less, dropped to the relegation zone, and Cagliari picking up some points. We're going to start with Inter right there. Anthony, 6 points, 7 due to the head-to-head. What did you think about us this weekend?
I think that the true catenaccio of Antonio Conte came into full effect. It was reminiscent of the round of 16 game that Italy beat Spain in the Euros as well. It was actually really, really good to watch. I loved every part of it. It was nerve-wracking though, brother. It was Pazza Inter right to the core again, but we grinded out the victory like a champion would grind out that sort of victory. And that gives me a lot of confidence. It was a big sigh of relief after this fixture, and I really think that we can turn a 7-game winning streak, which has included Lazio, Milan, and Atalanta, for all of those people, trying to suit the narrative that we bully lesser teams. And, with an, I don't want to call it an easy run, but with a very winnable run coming up before Napoli, I'm quietly confident, brother.
Yes, absolutely. We're gonna show you the run right away. Here you go. The fixtures coming are Torino away, Sassuolo, Bologna, and Cagliari. Hey, apart from that, after Napoli, Anthony, I want to ask you a simple question. Where do you see us dropping points from here until we meet Roma and Juventus at the end?
After Napoli, that might look like an easy schedule, but that's actually a really tough back-to-back-to-back sort of schedule. That whole Spezia, Verona, Crotone, Sampdoria, there's 4 teams that are going to sit back. So we're still going to need to be creative and to score and to keep winning up until those final fixtures. So, Atalanta came at us hard. And you know what? I'm sure you'll agree. Atalanta had their chances, but so did we. Our strikers got into good attacking positions and they had their chances. We didn't execute once again. So I think it's a fixture list that's going to heavily involve, your Christian Eriksen, obviously.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Because we need to break down these sides. But you know what? Without getting too ahead of ourselves, I love our next 4 fixtures. And, 9, 10, 12 points, maybe not 9 now that I'm thinking of it. So let's set the bar a little higher. 10 to 12 points. See how we go after that, man.
Before Napoli, absolutely. Let's move to Milan right away. Second on table, 6 points. Coming close to Juventus, winning, but a little bit of inconsistency right there. And I'm going to show you something that is a little bit scary for if any Milanista right there. Injury list. Ben Nasser, Mandzukic, Calhanoglu, Ibrahimovic, Theo Hernandez, and Ante Rebic.
Oh God,
what do you think?
It's their best players, bro. It's the only threats that they boast on the pitch are all injured. And, I got to say, I don't necessarily like Milan fans online, but I can really appreciate this sort of heavy injury list compiled with the Europa League. So, we've had to endure it as well. This is just the vex of having to play. Well, for me, sometimes it's Thursday night, Friday morning. I think they call it Thursday night football in Europe. It really is a strain, man, and you don't realize it yourself until you have a team that's in there that you support. So that's pretty much what it's down to there. When you look at that list of injuries, it's a very ugly list, bro.
Yeah, but they had really impressive win after they lost to Inter, the Roma and the Hellas Verona, man. It's just, to be honest, that I'm an Interista, but I have to tell you, it was impressive against Hellas Verona, to be honest. They were absolutely in control, and Hellas is not easy, right? Like, it's not an easy
They're
team
a
to
good
play.
side. Hellas are a good side, and I was very impressed as well. I just want to say, while you mentioned that, like, you know, it takes, and you know, some of the players that you wouldn't expect to step up did. Your Krunic and your Diego Dalot on loan from Manchester United.
Yes.
Incredible. So big ups to them. I still think they're going to drop some points soon, though, but they're sticking it out.
I have one question for you about Milan, and then we're going to move on to the third, the black and whites. Do you think they have any risk of dropping from the top four? Flat out, honesty.
Yeah, I think so. But at the same time, they'll probably pull together more points than your Romas and your Napolis, because they are horribly inconsistent as well. And I'm pretty sure both sides have their Europa League game coming. No, Napoli were knocked out by Granada.
Napoli are out. Yes, Napoli are
out. Or Getafe, one of those two teams.
Do you know why
who it was?
Yeah, do you know why I'm scared about Milan? Because Juventus now are out of the Champions League. We're coming into them. Napoli are out. And you never count out Atalanta from putting a good run. We stopped Atalanta, Inter, but before that it was just it was good.
The way I see it, man, we just really need to take it one game at a time, because all we need to do is beat Torino, because in the next 10 to 12 days, all of our rivals have to play European football as well. We can start to psychologically bury the hatchet well before these teams think they're still in a race. So let's move on to the next rival.
Absolutely. Juventus. Impressive against Lazio. I gotta be honest. They were absolutely good. They were impressive.
Hold on. I need to cut Moe off just for 1 second, because just for context, we are recording this at 4:52 p.m. Aussie time. So it is only about 10 hours after Juventus were eliminated from the Champions League. I just wanted to make the context, as long as people know that we know what happened this morning as well.
Yeah. We're gonna come to this. I just want to talk about the league first, because they are coming hot in the league, man. And they played good without CR7. And I've seen a lot of Juventus fans. Daniel Lucci on Twitter, he pointed out that many times. Hats off to the guy. He said it many times that he sees his team better without Cristiano. And what is after the Champions League exit, man? What do you think is going to happen there for Pirlo and Cristiano?
Yeah, shout out to my boy Lucci. He's a real one. This is a big one, like, Mo, and that's why I couldn't help myself. I just got so excited, because I thought they were going through this morning. And then when I saw just how I felt sorry for some of their players that were really stepping it up, and they still do have a lot of players that they can look forward to. You know, keep Chiesa happy, because he is going to be the next attacking rock of the side. He was really good. You know, De Ligt is still a phenomenal player when he is fit and when he is present. But your veteran players in this team did not step up, and Cristiano was one of them today. It was not good to see. His positioning on the free kick of the wall was horrible as well. So for me personally, to answer your long question, what could be a long question shortly, Pirlo stays. The project is going to be built around him, and rightfully so. He is not to blame for this. Paratici and Nedved and co are to blame for this, to be honest. Ronaldo, for me, he's gone. For me, there is no way they fork out 30 million in a COVID market to pay this salary. Unless they truly think they can invest in a mercato to back this guy, I can see him walking into the office and going, it's time for me to move on, eh? There's probably 2 or 3 clubs that can probably sign me and will take my salary for 1 or 2 seasons. One of them might be Paris, who can probably challenge for the Champions League. I reckon Ronaldo walked off the pitch today and thought, I can't win the Champions League again at this club. And to be honest, I hope he does leave, because, you could say that Juventus might look better without him. Man, as a club, I'm sick of them mooching off his marketability, to be honest.
I'm gonna add one thing to you what you said, which is I think Cristiano is holding back Pirlo's ideas. That's what I think. To be honest, Pirlo has ideas and he's holding them back, because he has to play the superstar, the 30 million guy every game his way. Move to Roma. Roma, I think, in my opinion, the most disappointing team in the league, to be honest with you. I'm gonna look at the table. They look fourth, yes, but Napoli played a game less. Roma, very inconsistent. They had 2 good wins after the Milan loss, but still, I think they are they have a good squad. The guy is good. He's not that bad. They are grinding the wins against Fiorentina and then against Genoa 1-0. But I think they are underachieving, to be honest. They should have more points based on the team that play. What do you think?
They should have more points. The fact that they're still in the top four is a big compliment to the way that they've been playing football. But also, when you look at it, they're not that far away from dropping into a deep Europa League position. They had their first loss at home to Milan, which was disappointing because I think as Inter fans, we all went into that game thinking, all right, Milan's dropping points here for sure. But it was not the case. There's not too much I can say about Roma, except if they do sneak into a Champions League position with the weakest defense in the top seven, more power to them. But I think what's on your mind, Mo, is that Atalanta are ready to pounce on that spot, man.
Absolutely. I just want to say something about Roma. It's very strange that they are the weakest defense by far in the top 8 teams. Up to Hellas Verona, they have 38 goals, man, in 26 games. That's too much. With the likes of Juventus 21, Milan 30, Inter 25, Atalanta 33, Napoli 29, it's too much to have 38 goals. You can't compete with a weak defense. I think it's something that they have to fix for next season, even though they signed good players and they have youth. Atalanta, I think, to me, to be honest, it's my second team in Italy now because I know that people don't like Gasperini, but I like the way Atalanta present themselves in Europe. They never have that superstar. It's always a new player coming in and they enjoy themselves. Were they coming for the title race and we put them out? Do you think so?
No, they were never in the title race for me. The clubs need to be consistent thoroughly in this day and age. And I know that Atalanta are still a side that at its core cannot mount together consistently that much to win a league title. They're much better off trying to go for a cup, in my opinion. Now are they in the Coppa Italia final?
They are. They are
against Juventus.
Yes,
against
sir.
Juventus. Yes, go and put some money on Atalanta to win this one, man, because I swear to God, they might be going tit for nail for this trophy. And wouldn't that be fantastic for a Zero Totoli season? But let's not speak too soon.
Yes.
Yeah, but in order to sustain 38 league games, you need to A, hope that everybody stays fit. B, you have no Europe to really sustain a constant schedule, which we are reaping the benefits of now. And C, you need to hope for no locker room reasons as well. Well, unfortunately, Atalanta have failed in all 3 of those departments that I just mentioned. They've had a really bad locker room. Gomez is out. Ilicic is next, you can tell. So Ilicic didn't even start against us, man. That was a luxury that I thought that we had as well. So Atalanta title contenders, no. But for me, I think it's actually inevitable that they snake Roma for that 4th position.
Yeah, I think they are the best Italian team other than Milan, Juventus, Inter to represent the Italian football in UEFA Champions League. It's just, I think people like to see them on TV, and it's just, I think they're good for Italian football to be in the Champions League. Napoli, okay, guys, it's crazy that with everything that is happening with Gattuso, Napoli are 6th, 47 points, as you can see, with a game in hand against Juventus. If they win that, they are 4th. With all the crazy things around Gattuso, they are still in the top 4. They are actually in the driving seat for the top 4 if they win the game against Juventus. Can't you see that happening?
100%. And I'm really glad that Juventus' game in hand is coming up against Napoli and Gattuso, because he's going to go to hell for that game. So, when is that game again? March 17th?
I think so. It's
1 week. It's a midweek. That makes sense because today's Wednesday here, which means it will be a midweek game, a catch-up game. Fantastic. 1 week from today.
Yes. That game against Sassuolo showed me that there is something that they're winning 3-2, and then at the end that penalty for Sassuolo, it was just nuts to happen. To be honest, that was nuts.
Chaos, bro. Yeah. Chaos.
Yeah.
Oh man, the elbow and everything.
The other team from the capital, the Eagles, Lazio, our friend Jerry Mancini and his team. The mental stability against Juventus, I talked about this before, that it shows the big teams from the small teams. I think when Juventus started that game, it showed how fragile Lazio were in that game. What do you think about that particular game? Because it was key for them to win that game, and it was also key for Juventus to keep in within touching distance from everybody, from us and Milan. What do you think?
Yeah, I just don't think they're going to be good enough to make the top four, to be honest. You said that Roma is your biggest disappointment of the season. Well, mine is Lazio, head and shoulders. It's not good to draw Bayern Munich in the round of 16. It's the worst team to draw in the round of 16. They should not feel any shame for copying. Was it 4-1 in the first leg?
Yes,
if they can maybe if they can avoid copying maybe 3 or 4 goals in the second leg, they can still go home and say, oh, well, guys, at least we got to the round of 16, you know? Yes. And we went out to an actual team, like an actual big team. So I think, me personally, I'm disappointed in them. And I don't think they're going to go up to the top 4, man. They've lost 3 out of their last 4 games. And I don't know, man. Immobile he's good, but he's not great. He's no Romelu Lukaku, that's for sure. That's what. Okay, people don't see that, especially Azzurri fans. They think Ciro Immobile is one of the best forwards. Yes, I see the guy. He's good in scoring, snatching goals here and there, but he's not. I don't think he's the leader for Lazio. Like, to me, it's Luis Alberto is the guy who runs things in Lazio. It's not Ciro Immobile. He hasn't scored in 4, which is his longest run without scoring the whole season, by the way. 4 games, it's a long time. And I think this is why Lazio they lost 3 out of the last 4 games, even though it was against Inter and Juve. But he's not performing, and that's not good for Lazio. Not good for Lazio. He needs to pick up the pace again. Yeah. Moving down to the table, I'm going to call it, they have in England the 6th place cup, like the Everton Cup. I think for me, it's the 8th cup, right? Like, it's Hellas Sassuolo. Who goes up, who goes down. This week changes from this week, and it's just nuts. I want to talk about Hellas, the fighting against Juventus. We all loved it as Interists, right? Like, we loved it. It was absolutely fantastic. 77th minute, I'm just making a protein shake in the kitchen. It's early on a Saturday morning, and I'm like, no. Or Sunday, whatever it was, I'm like, no, I could not believe it, man. I had already put in my head that they would that they were getting the 3 points, and amazing fighting spirit. I can forgive it that it wasn't against Milan, because they did the job on Juventus. I can't be too cranky. It really would have been nice if they got a point out of Milan at least. But I think after the shit show that was Udinese, Milan just had that something extra to prove. You can almost bank on Hellas Verona, putting some form together in the back end of this season now.
Yes, absolutely. Hellas Verona, man, it's just they're very inconsistent. They only lost twice in a row, once this season. Only once, which is very rare for a team that is not from the top 7. So I think Hellas Verona is ready next season to go to top 6 or challenge the Lazios, the Romas. If they can have this X factor, I think they can do it, because I love the way they play. It's a very good team to watch. If you don't watch if you watch only the big teams in Italy, I would recommend that team that we're going to talk about now. It's Hellas and Sassuolo. Just go and watch some games. You would love Italian football for that. Sassuolo, 1 win in 9 games, and that win was against Crotone. What do you say about this?
Sassuolo have had a good few seasons, more than a few, to be honest. They've probably been in Serie A how many seasons in a row now? I can't even count. I'm thinking back to when Inter had their thick black, very thin blue striped jerseys, and Sassuolo had only been in this league for 2 seasons then.
Isn't that when Nagatomo came in from Sassuolo? You remember that?
Yeah, that's the one. I think that Sassuolo, De Zerbi's tactics and his formation and his approach have been figured out. And unfortunately, when you don't have the personnel to rise above majority of your opposition, you are going to play an equal sort of playing field, which explains their perfect meaty 9th position on the ladder and why they can't seem to jump anywhere from that little curve right there. Sassuolo is your classic mid-table side that can challenge a little bit further. They need a couple of quality more signings. I think Locatelli's a good player. Domenico Berardi's a good player. they don't have a bad side at all. Ciccio Caputo on his day can really bury one in the back of the net. But I think Sassuolo is exactly where they deserve to be. I'm glad that we've got them in a couple of weeks because I do think we can outmuscle them quite comfortably.
Sampdoria, number 10. I think now they are in a fight with Udinese for the number 10, for the top 10, because the top 10 finish has its prestige for these teams. We all know this, right?
A little bit extra prize money and just ego, right?
Yes, but it's I'm top 10 in Serie A. I think Serie A has been very competitive in the last 2-3 years in terms of getting high positions, because the likes of Lazio, Roma, Napoli, even Inter, everybody picked up, and it's very hard to break into that top 7. So your 8, 9, 10 is a prize for itself. So the tie against Cagliari and Genoa, I think Sampdoria is where they are. There is no change in position. I think for the last 4 or 5 weeks, they're in 10th place, but Udinese is coming for them. We're talking about Udinese now, 4 wins from 8 games. Hey, do you see Udinese breaking into top 10? Do you see, especially if DePaul leaves at the end of the season, do you think Udinese is going to get higher than 10, 11th next season, or that's it for them?
After such a bad start to the season where, we admitted, I think it was me and Mario, were like, this is a team that's playing good football. They're not executing. They're not finishing at all. And it has come good. I love Rodrigo De Paul. How can you not like him? He's a fantastic player and he's absolutely everywhere on the pitch. 4 wins from 8 games means that they're winning 50% of their games, which means that they're doing better than probably 50% of the teams in the league, because it is such a competitive league. Serie A is that kind of league where you string together 2 or 3 games, you jump 3 to 4 positions on the ladder, and good stuff for Udinese. I think they can actually continue it for the rest of the season. I think that they can actually stay in that position because the teams below them don't look like they pose as much threat. So I don't know if you want to talk about the elephant in the room, or I should, but oh my God, was he playing volleyball or basketball? For God's sake, man, I'm just going to close my door, but please tell the fans what happened there, because he was full flight, hands up like he was Superman, G. What?
Dude, I was watching this, I couldn't believe myself. There's something is up with this guy, It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. This guy is why did he do this? There is no explanation other than he wanted to give Milan a point and lose his team to a point. There is no other way. Why would you do that?
His tweet afterwards, it's not because I'm a Milan fan. Bro, come on. Why do you use these words? I don't know.
I don't know. Okay. It's gonna be strange saying this now, but relegation zone starts from here, guys. 12th place. 6 points from 12th place to 18th. This is it. Bologna. I don't know what happened to the league, but when me and you met 3 weeks ago, round 23, it was shaping up, right? It was shaping up.
But if you look at the relegation battle was sort of shaping to be done early.
Yeah, guys, believe it or not, if Torino wins 1 game, the difference between the 18th place and the 12th place is only 6 points. And with the way Cagliari has been doing, you never count anybody out, right? Nobody is safe. 12th place, Bologna. They had this big win against Lazio, but then I don't know what happened. It was disappointing after this, and it's just they lost 2 games, and everybody now is in the relegation zone. It's Bologna. We'll talk about the Genoa. They only lost 2 games. It looks like, if you look at Genoa, 13th place, everyone. Genoa, the only 2 losses in the last 10 games are against Roma and Inter. Believe it or not, it's Genoa. Maybe the best team in the bottom 9 teams. What do you think, Anthony?
I think that, they were really poor at the start of the season. They were one of the poorest teams. And, I guess I was bullying them a little bit because I just remember us on the pitch absolutely bullying them. But since they brought in Balladini as their manager, they've just really stepped it up to the point where I back them 100% to stay in that little curve right there and beat the relegation battle for sure. So, you know, when you combine the fact that Mattia Destro hit form in a very weird period of time where he just started scoring goals for fun, am I correct in that?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
He's one of the reasons they had all these wins. If you look at I'm gonna show you, like, if you look at the screen and you see how many wins Genoa got, they had 3 wins in a row and 2 ties, the losses against Inter and Roma, and that's it. It's all about, it's just picking up everything. It's nuts. It's crazy how somebody can just a U-turn right away, change of coach, change of culture, boom.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, when I'm looking at some of the fixtures that they've got remaining right now, I fancy them to take it to Juventus in a few weeks' time as well. We don't need to play them again this season, do we? No, we don't. Awesome.
No, we don't.
Another plus for us. All right, I'm gonna move on to Fiorentina. 1 point from their last 3 games. You know what? Maybe Lazio are not the biggest disappointment of the season. Maybe Fiorentina, Commisso, Joe Barone, everybody associated with the club just has a shit season. It's really bad, Mo. If I was a Fiorentina fan, this would be a really, really depressing COVID season for me. When you consider the players that they've got in their team, that's not a bad team by any way, shape, or form. They have not found consistency from match day 1 3 years ago. I don't know when this Fiorentina side are going to get better, to be honest.
What else? To be honest, I'm looking at their squad. What else do you need to be a mid-table team, winning games and playing good? It's like you have the coach, you have Ribéry, who's injured half the time, but every time he plays, you have Bonaventura now, Borja Valero, you have experience. I don't know what they want, and I don't know what's missing from the club. I think it's something beyond the players and beyond the coach. There has to be something in the culture of the club that has to be changed for them to get better.
Yeah.
How about number 15, Spezia, guys?
My guys, I love Spezia. Spezia. Not just because they take the points off Juve. We're going to have to get past Spezia. That's not going to be an easy game. But I think they can do enough to survive the drop. However, these Serie B sides who have been promoted, now they are starting to thin out. Now they are starting to puff and go, holy shit, you know, this is tough. This is big league stuff. And Spezia and Benevento are the 2 latest sides, you know, to really, really fit that trajectory. And when you look at how long teams like Cagliari, Torino, Parma have been in Serie A, you know, Spezia and Benevento need to put their heads up and say, we still need points, okay? When you're in this part of the table, you don't necessarily need results all the time. You need to win here and there. You need to get points. 1 point from a team coming 7th. 1 point from the team coming 4th. Maybe you draw a game against the team coming 11th. Then at the end of the month, you look at it and go, all right, we didn't win every game, but we collected 7 points, whereas the team below us in relegation only collected 2. That's what you want for these sort of sides, brother. And, you know, good performances from Spezia, but no results because they lack that world-class quality a la Juventus.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. I like Spezia. Spezia is a team that I like to watch, but they're not like getting wins. And I think it's exactly what you said. They're liking that X Factor thing in the team, right? Yeah. Benevento.
Ooh. They're falling, man. Good start to the season. Still always put up a fight no matter who they're playing. No result. Yeah, no result. Benevento,
Inzaghi, and yeah, he came in the beginning of the season as the guy who's gonna make this team, but I don't know, no wins in the last 10 games. It's scary. If I'm a Benevento fan, I'll be scared a little, thinking about, Cagliari and Torino, they have the experience, right? Like Cagliari, Torino, they have the experience to stay in the league. Benevento, they don't. It's a scary thing, right? Now move to the other than Inter, guys, my pick of the last 3 weeks would be Cagliari, to be honest. 7 out of 9 points. New coach, new life. And it's just been, to be honest, Cagliari has been in the news, right? Like, are you liking this or not? Do you want Cagliari to stay or no? It's all about Nainggolan for you. This is all it's about.
We all know how dirty I was because I'm such a Nainggolan fan, and it's no secret. When we signed him, I was over the moon. It all went to shit, and I hold a fair bit of resentment and responsibility towards him for that. So when he decided to leave midway through the season, after we saw him, gain more weight and perform poorly in training, I'm on the Raja Nainggolan can go hype bandwagon, and I won't change that unless this weekend Raja Nainggolan can bury Juventus, score a goal that steals any sort of points, all will be forgiven. And we know how Raja Nainggolan loves a goal against Juventus. Absolutely. We know how much Raja Nainggolan hates Juventus. So he might be able to do us this solid, and all will be forgiven. In terms of Cagliari altogether, they're not a team that I bother too much with in terms of support. If they were to be relegated, oh well, I wish them all the best as a club. If they stay promoted, fantastic, no worries. They've been a bogey side for us when we've had managerial quality that couldn't overcome them, or when they had better players. I remember a certain midfielder for us tearing us to shit 2 years ago before we decided to sign him for 40 million, and it wasn't Nainggolan, that's for sure. So yeah, I think they're back in business, bro. What about you?
One thing I wanna. Okay, how bad is Di Francesco?
Oh. But what happened, bro? Like, he had a decent run with Roma, and like maybe he's just lost his marbles in the last year and a half.
Guys, Di Francesco out, Simplicity in, and then now it's boom, we're winning. We're back in business, baby. We can stay in this league. This is how it's kind of strange to me, but it's how life is, to be honest. It's the same as Pallardini, but I think Di Francesco is, if he's gonna be given another chance, I don't know, but I don't see any future for him in Serie A, to be honest. He has to go somewhere else. I think so, because he has been given chances, right? He has been given chances.
Well, now moving to... I was going to say, if he's not careful, he's going to go to his next club and not perform there. And then after that, no Serie A club is going to want to sign a coach who's been sacked, bump. So yeah. Next club, what are we doing?
Torino.
All right.
The massive loss against Crotone. Talk about it. How big is this?
Crotone haven't won a game in I don't know how long. Their goal scoring record is so shocking. It's horrendous. Torino, man, we've been saying it all year. They don't play horrible football. They've just been really unlucky, bad spells as well, bad plays, but they haven't been horrible. Well, guess what? They're actually starting to look pretty bad right now. And if they're not careful, I don't need to say it, dude, they are in the relegation zone. And this ain't no match day 6. It's not match day 16. It's match day 26. We are 12 games away from the end of the season. They need to pick up their act, but they're gonna have to wait a little longer because there's a team waiting to clap them up this weekend.
Absolutely, it's and also the 2 games they have it's Sassuolo and Lazio, and I don't see them picking up. Maybe Sassuolo, but I don't see them picking up more than 1 point from these 2 games, to be honest.
They're in trouble, bro. They're in big trouble. Yeah. And this whole whether or not we should sell Belotti thing will no longer be a question. It will now be okay, when are we doing this at the end of the season?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Parma, are they relegated? Okay. Have you seen them unlucky the last game? But are they relegated?
They pushed really hard against us. Really, really hard. They played quite well.
And against Fiorentina.
Oh yeah, with the draw.
And against Fiorentina as well. But it's just like they look doomed, right? Yeah, they look doomed.
At this point of the season, it looks like they're gonna drop enough points because they're just gonna get deflated by the end, and they're probably gonna be the biggest club to go down unless Torino go down. Torino's probably an even bigger club than Parma to go down, considering how many years in a row Torino has been in Serie A. So I'm already looking forward to the next final word, man. Whenever that is, because it could change again.
Yeah, but. The last one was in week 10. When week 26, it's not 16 games without a win. This is crazy. Parma have it without a win.
To be a Parma fan, poor guys. That's where I start to feel bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just nuts. Crotone, they won against Torino, but still they are very I don't think they're gonna stay. Like, they don't have a chance. Crotone, I was like, there's nothing. There's 15 points. They are very far, and I don't think they have any chance of staying. Do you see them like even making an upset? Because even their win was against Torino, which is not an upset to anybody in the league.
Unfortunately for Crotone, they are going to lose against Lazio this weekend, and then they are probably going to draw or lose to Bologna. They are not going to beat Napoli. I don't think they'll beat Spezia. By the time Crotone rolls around to Inter on match day 33, mathematically they will already be relegated, in my opinion. And that's saying something. That means that they need to be 15 points away from safety. I think it can get pretty much to that point. By that point, we'll smack them up as well. And yeah, Crotone, you want to talk about Parma being potentially doomed? Crotone is definitely doomed. So if I was on the board of directors at Crotone, I would be starting to have meetings about how we can dominate Serie B next season.
Absolutely. Okay, and here it is, guys. We're just going to give you a hint about the next fixtures coming up. Here you go. Do you see, of course, everybody's going to be looking at the Milan-Napoli. I'm waiting, as an Interista, waiting for the Torino game. It's away. I don't think they have lost home for about like 5 or 6 weeks. They haven't lost home. And I think it's all about Cagliari-Juventus, which is on paper, it's supposed to be a very easy game for Juventus on paper, but Cagliari is on the, they're on the rise. Napoli-Milan, I just want your predictions for Napoli-Milan. Quick predictions.
I'm going to go for 1-1. That'll be a really good game. But to be honest, it would not surprise me to see Pioli and his men grind out a victory here.
Okay, like what they did to Roma. I'm
almost expecting it.
Okay, anything to want to add, Anthony, before we finish up here? And we're waiting for these coming, because the coming 2 weeks are going to shape up a lot of stuff with Milan playing Napoli and the teams playing each other, and it's gonna shape up a lot, guys, and hopefully we'll meet you in better. Anthony, do you want to add something here?
We've got the luxury of just focusing on ourselves. Let's focus on ourselves. Let's beat Torino. Let's beat Sassuolo, and let's keep linking up with smiles. So if you haven't already, I'll do that formal stuff. Like, share, subscribe. Inter Worldwide. It's an honor to be hosted and connected by my boy Mo. If anybody wants to get involved, you know exactly where to find us. Thank you for all the support.
Thank you guys so much, and hope to see you in the next episode where Inter are still on top, hopefully with more points. See you all.
Peace.